Okay, cats, we're back here. 17.2 sample spaces. I believe there was a sample space section. We talked about sample space a little bit in the previous chapter. This is going to be a very lengthy scenario where you're going to have to write some things out. So I'm actually going to break this lesson up into two parts in order to fit it in. We'll start with part one. And if I take a look at part one, we'll watch a couple video clips here potentially. Pearson does a pretty good job here. So if you just want to, if you don't want to hear me, you just want to go to Pearson. They do a pretty decent job of showing off all their stuff here on 17.2.
To write the sample space of a multi-step action, use an organized approach to list all possible outcomes of the action. To find the sample space for tossing a coin twice.
All right, so we're going to toss a coin twice, okay? Tossing a coin twice. So obviously what that should mean is on the first toss, okay, you have a choice of either tossing it heads or tossing tails. On the second toss, you also have the chance of going heads or tails. Please make sure you understand. If you spin or you flip a heads first, your second toss could actually be heads or tails. And after your first toss, your second toss could be heads or tails. So when we take a look at this, potentially we could say, hey, I could spin or flip heads followed by heads. I could flip heads followed by tails. I could flip tails first followed by heads on the second flip, or I could flip tails on the first flip and tails on the second flip. So all told, they're going to tell you that you have four possible outcomes in this particular situation. Four possible outcomes. And you could, what they're trying to get you to do is they're trying to get you to organize yourself. And I know that's not a, it's kind of a cuss word for some of you guys, but we need to make sure that we organize our information. Later on, we'll take a look at potentially even using a table in order to do that if there's only a two-step action. We'll move ahead now to my next piece on part two, okay, or should I say slide two in this particular scenario. All right, so we're going to use an organized list, ice cream, okay, it's about ice cream season, here we go. All right, so you can see we have two situations here. We're going to do A first, right? If we do A correctly, it's going to make B much easier. So it says we're going to want scoop 1 and scoop 2 to be the same flavor, or they can be different flavors. So here you see all the flavors I have that are possible. And so you're going to want to use, for example, hey, what are all the different situations that you can come up with where the first scoop is peach? So over here, I'm going to go peach, followed by peach, the second scoop. You could go peach on the first scoop, followed by strawberry on the second scoop. Or you could go peach on the first scoop, followed by banana on the first scoop. All right. Next up, you could say, hey, I'm going to want strawberry as my first scoop, and I'm going to want peach as my second scoop. Strawberry is my first scoop, followed by strawberry as my second scoop, and strawberry in my first scoop, followed by banana in my second scoop. Last but not least, what if you wanted banana to be your first scoop? If you wanted banana to be your first scoop, you could go banana followed by peach, banana followed by strawberry, or banana followed by banana. So obviously, if you take a look at this, you have what appears to be 9 different possible combinations, I guess, if you look at first scoop versus second scoop. So you would want to create that in some sort of organized list as I have. Now, if you did this well, then when you move on to part B here, you're going to make it a little bit easier by saying, hey, I now want scoop 1 and scoop 2 to make sure that they're different flavors. So in this particular situation, if that's the case, that means you would eliminate the peach followed by peach, you would eliminate the strawberry followed by strawberry, and you would eliminate the banana followed by banana. So if you take a look at that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 possible outcomes in that situation. All right? And again, you want to try to create an organized list in order to make sure you're able to get all the possible combinations. All right, moving on to slide 3. This one's going to be long. Bagels. Okay, so let's say we go to who serves bagels? Who serves bagels? Who serves bagels? I don't know. I guess I don't eat bagels very often, so I'm not so sure. We get these at the grocery store, so I guess Panera Bread. That's probably where most of you guys go for your bagel situation, I'm guessing. All right, so in the bagel scenario, we're going to have to come up with a combination. They want it to be 3 different kinds of bagels, right? 3 different kinds of bagels, which basically means you can't have a plain followed by a plain. Also, take a look at this. We have 3 people involved here, so we've got 4 choices, and we're going to pick 3 bagels, and those 3 bagels cannot be the same. So I'm going to basically start with plain as my lead dog. So I'm going to go plain followed by sesame and cheese, plain followed by sesame and onion. So again, I'm going to run all the possible situations where plain is my first kid is getting plain. And I'm going to also run it out so sesame with plain being first, sesame is always going to be the second. Next up, I've got plain followed by cheese and sesame, or plain followed by cheese and onion. Last but not least, with plain being from the first kid, plain followed by onion and sesame, plain followed by onion and cheese. So there's, looks like in each situation, if you use your head here a little bit, in each situation it looks as if you're going to get 6 possible situations. Switching colors here for you now. Let's go to sesame now as my lead dog, okay? So the first kid's going to get sesame. If that's the case, we're going to go sesame followed by plain and cheese, and then sesame followed by plain and onion, sesame followed by cheese and plain, sesame followed by cheese and onion, sesame followed by onion and plain, and sesame followed by onion and cheese. So there's that group. Coming over here to the other side of my chart, let's start with green. These will be the kid number 1 gets cheese first. So I'm at cheese followed by plain and sesame, cheese followed by plain and onion, cheese followed by sesame and plain, cheese followed by sesame and onion, cheese followed by onion and plain, cheese followed by onion and sesame. So again, very important that we have these in an organized list to make sure you get them all. Last but not least, let's go with onion. First kid gets onion, and if the first kid gets onion, we're going to go ahead. We know we're going to get 6. I mean, it's happened in every situation so far, so I can't think that this is going to change. Onion followed by plain and sesame, onion followed by plain and cheese, onion followed by sesame and plain, onion followed by sesame and cheese, onion followed by cheese and plain, and onion followed by cheese and sesame. So all told, it looks as if you're going to come up with what? 24 possible situations, 24 possible outcomes, if you will, if order matters. All right? Take a look at the answer, make sure we're right. And again, you see they have the same exact 24, I guess you would say, that I do. They may not be in the exact same order as mine, but again, you can see they're in a very organized list, which is going to be important. Graph paper, for example, might be a good thing to pull out right now because you can get yourself organized on graph paper by putting 1 letter in each of those grid pieces. All right, I'm going to erase this. I think I can still get part 2 on here. I'm at 9:45 on my clock. I think I can get part 2 on here. And that'll leave, well, at least we'll get as much as we can on here as far as part 2 is concerned. All right, moving on.
You can use a table to display the sample space of a two-step action.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take over here for her. If we create this table, we could create a table such that we had the two situations that are possible for the flip of a coin. So this dude right here. And the table could be created on the top by saying, hey, I'm going to go red, I'm going to go green, I'm going to go blue, I'm going to go yellow. Again, order necessarily doesn't really matter here, but obviously you're going to spin first because it's the first picture, followed by the coin flip. So when we get done with this and you fill out the table, it's kind of like our multiplication table, whereby we're going to get reds followed by heads, red followed by tails, green followed by heads, green followed by tails, blue followed by heads, blue followed by tails, yellow followed by heads, and yellow followed by tails. So two-step action, okay? My strong suggestion to you would be in a two-step action, use a table in order to set that up and organize your information. Your life will be made much, much quicker. Now, one of the things they like to do is they like to come out of here and say, hey, I've got reds, so come out of here. Don't make me read your little table. Come out of here with all the possible situations, just like this. And again, please note I'm prefixing all this stuff, shorten everything up here, which I would hope that you would do. So obviously, all told, we're going to have 8 possible outcomes in this scenario. All right, moving on to piece 2. Similar situation, locker combinations. This is classic. So in this particular situation, open the locker to find your next clue. The combination is a number, x, y. The digits of x are going to be 7, 8, or 9. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in as 7, 8, or 9. And the digit y is from 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to then go ahead, and I think, and again, this is one thing you're going to have to be careful on Pearson. I'm not sure how they do this. I'm using the column headers as my first number. This is something you're going to have to pick up on as you go through this. So this would be 70, 78, 79, oops, that's not right, that's not right. 70, 80, 90, 71, 72, 73, 74, 81, 82, 83, and 84, 91, 92, 93, and 94. So you can see you're going to have a total of what? 12 outcomes here in terms of the combination that you can come up with. Okay, 12 keys. I tried to combine the word outcomes with combinations there, my bad. So let's go outcomes, 12 outcomes. All right, and again, let's verify this with solutions, and they did it the same as I did, so I would suggest that maybe you look at that. The column headers are going to be your first number, and the row headers are really going to be your second digit based upon what Pearson's doing for you. All right, see if we can squeeze in this last one. I'm going to have to move pretty quick like. A clothing store sells sweaters, V-neck, crew neck, cardigan styles. Each style is available in blue, gray, or red. How many different sweaters can you choose? So again, if you were to set this up, you could do it like this. You could say, all right, I've got sweater colors, blue, gray, red. And then over here I've got what? V-neck, crew neck, and then cardigan. So they made it a little difficult here with our cardigan. Let's use the letter D to represent cardigan. All right, so I've got BV, BC, and BD, where D represents the word cardigan. I've got GV, so that means it would be a gray V-neck, a gray crew neck, and a gray cardigan. I've got a red V-neck, I've got a red crew neck, and I've got a red cardigan. And so you're going to have a total of what? 9 outcomes. All right? Correct Correct answer. Boom. Now. All right, that should do it. Probably went a little over, actually.